10 years ago, not only did I have more hair, but many a night I was binge watching some of the most forgotten, but in my opinion, some of the greatest TV shows ever, and that was Man vs. Wild and Man vs. Food. Because let's be honest, what's better than watching a man trying to survive in the desert or in the jungle just by eating snakes? Or on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, seeing some guy in America trying to eat a burger the size of his head. So in the spirit of these long forgotten TV shows, I want to introduce my own challenge, which is Man versus ChatGPT. And this is where, for once and all, we're going to find out who can really write the best ad copy for Google Ads. Is it a mere mortal of a man like myself, or is it that fancy new AI which is going to be soon, if we believe the press, taking over the world, called ChatGPT? Now, as you are a watcher on YouTube, and I can guarantee that since the start of the year, you've seen countless videos about new ways that you can use ChatGPT, but I wanted to go beyond that and I wanted to set up a real test. So what I've done over the past 30 days, I've put my ad copy to the test up against some ad copy that was written by ChatGPT. And here are the rules. I firstly directed ChatGPT to write specific ad copy headlines for a Google Ads ad, and I gave ChatGPT the website and also the product that we wanted to focus on. And then through a series of instructions to ChatGPT, I let ChatGPT know that we specifically wanted to write ad copy that would increase click-through ratio and the number of conversions. And then I would go to another account and then write my own ad copy by myself without using ChatGPT. And then on both accounts, to make it fair, I did not do any other significant optimizations throughout that 30-day period. So I didn't increase the budget, or I didn't go through and change any bidding strategies or switch anything over to maximize conversions. So we were testing to see what happened when ChatGPT introduced some new ad copy into a campaign versus what happened when I myself introduced some ad copy into a campaign. And then after the testing period, we reviewed the results, and I can tell you there was a winner. But before we get to that, what I want to do is I want to take you through the process of how you can use ChatGPT to write your own Google Ads copy. Let's go check it out. So this is the process that I used, where we said, please write 5 Google Ads headlines targeting 2-bedroom pool villas, and I gave it the website. And then straight away, ChatGPT came back with these 5 potential headlines. And then I gave ChatGPT some extra guidance saying that the focus needs to be on luxury holiday accommodation villas, with each headline having no more than 30 characters. And then straight away, ChatGPT got into it and came back with some new headlines that we could use. And as you can see from here, they were all pretty plain, just Bali luxury villas, private pool villas. So what I then gave ChatGPT the focus is said, please focus more on Seminyak and not just Bali. And then like that, ChatGPT came in and change that focus over to Seminyak, but I did notice some further issues, and I asked ChatGPT to rewrite some of the headlines. Specifically this 5th one, which was Seminyak holiday homes and also Seminyak villa rental. And the reason for that was because we're talking about our luxury resort and not looking at that holiday rental market. We're more looking at short stays of people who are wanting to book at a boutique resort. And once again, I gave it a strong recommendation that we need to add in a strong call to action because we wanted to increase that click-through ratio. And ChatGPT went away with it, but remember, it forgot once again that we need to have 30 characters. So I put that in there again. ChatGPT was nice, apologized for the oversight, and then gave us that strong headline. But once again, I said, ChatGPT, please remember that we don't want to use the word rent as we want to focus on holiday bookings. Once again, ChatGPT apologized like the good little AI that it is and rewrote that for me. Now, the one thing that I did notice at this point is that ChatGPT was very much just focusing on a keyword focus. And I know that for success with Google Ads copy over the period that I've been in Google Ads for well over 12 years is that we need to also include some things like our services. So I was hoping that ChatGPT was able to pick that up from the website. It wasn't. So what I then did from there is that I listed some of the services that ChatGPT could use in the headlines. It went and wrote the headlines, but once again, it forgot the 30 character rule. So I had to remind it again for the 3rd time. And as you can see from here, it took a little bit of time to work with ChatGPT. All in all, this process actually took about 6.5 minutes. So yes, it was quick, but I wouldn't say that it was any quicker than what would happen if I wrote these by myself. And then I also wanted to see what ChatGPT could do with writing some descriptions that were 90 characters or less. And ChatGPT did go around that, but once again, I had to give it some options and reminders to add in that call to action. So after that 6.5 minutes, we then got our headlines and descriptions written by ChatGPT. Now, this brought me to the process where I had the different headlines that ChatGPT had given me. So we've got them right here. We also had the long headlines and the descriptions. And now it's just a matter of pasting these into this campaign. But what you can see from here, quite interesting, is that even though I asked ChatGPT multiple times to keep it under 30 characters, this wasn't happening. So there was quite a few different headlines and descriptions that I had to go and rewrite because it didn't meet the 30 characters. Now, as you probably know, the process of using ChatGPT is quite simple, but as you can see, when it came to actually going through and writing those Google Ads headlines, I did have to follow up a lot of clearer instructions, especially around the characters. As you saw quite a few times, they would write some headlines or descriptions. I would then remind ChatGPT that it needed to be under 30 characters or 90 characters. ChatGPT would then rewrite it, but then if I did a follow-up question and said, can you please add in some extra keyword focus or add in an extra call to action, it would rewrite it, but then I would have to remind another time about making sure that it hit those character guidelines. And then on top of that, even after putting in that request, you saw when it came to actually adding in those headlines and descriptions into the Google Ads campaign, quite often the headlines that were provided were still over the character limit, even when I'd asked specifically for it to be under that character limit. That's not a big deal, but it is something to keep in common that it's very much not at the level where you can just ask ChatGPT to write your headlines and your ad copy, and you're going to be able to incorporate it with literally no assistance from yourself. And also too, the process took me about 6.5 minutes to get ChatGPT to write those headlines, and then another about 3.5 to 5 minutes to actually incorporate them into the Google Ads campaign, remembering that I had to make some manual changes. So while it was a simple process, I wouldn't say that it was quicker because I can go through and write new headlines for Google Ads without using ChatGPT in about 3 or 4 minutes. But with all of that said, let's now get to the most important part. Who was the winner in that? Who provided the better level of conversions before they added in their headlines? Was it ChatGPT or was it the mere human being myself? And can I say right from the start that both options were really, really impressive in that we saw a significant increase in the number of conversions. Remembering that the only change was the ad copy. We didn't make any other significant changes to the bidding or the budgets or anything like that. So there was nothing funny going on. And the results were that the campaign that used the new ad copy from ChatGPT saw a 25% increase in the number of conversions, which, as I said, is really, really significant because what business wouldn't want a 25% increase in conversions after a 3-week test of new headlines? Now, as impressive as that was, man was the winner because the campaign that I added in the new headlines saw a 45% increase in conversions. So I'm happy to say that you don't need to stress. ChatGPT won't be taking over the world of Google Ads anytime soon. Now that we know that man is still the winner and that we can still outperform things like ChatGPT when it comes to writing ad copy, what the most important follow-on question is, do I actually recommend that you use ChatGPT to help you write your ad headlines and your ad copy for Google Ads campaigns? And taking that a further step, will I be using it? And the answer is yes. Now that may seem like a funny answer given that not only did ChatGPT not give us extra conversions, but as I said, it actually took a longer manner of time to be able to write that headline because I found with ChatGPT, especially in its current format and current version, I had to feed a lot of follow-up questions and give it a lot of reminders of, remember, you need to be under 30 characters. Remember, you need to be under 90 characters. And as we saw, even with those constant reminders, when it came to actually incorporating it into the campaign, ChatGPT hadn't actually given what we asked, which was a ad copy headline with under 30 characters. And as we also saw, not only the time issue that it didn't actually perform as well as me going through and writing some manual ad copies for another campaign. So then you may ask, if that is the case, why would I still look to use ChatGPT? And it comes down to this, is that the one thing that ChatGPT did help with is that it did give me some different language variations that I hadn't used before. And this is especially important if you're running Google Ads by yourself. So if you're within a digital agency, you might have some different content writers that you can bounce different ideas off. But if you're a freelancer or managing your own Google Ads account, you don't sometimes have anyone else that you can bounce different ideas off. And one clear example of that was that the account that I gave ChatGPT the request to write some new ad copy, it came up with this headline, which was talking about Lux Seminyak villas. And previously before, we had only used the word luxury. And I saw that word lux, as in stay in your own luxe villa. It performed really, really well and was probably the best headline that ChatGPT provided. And that is something that in that account that I'd been running for numbers of years, I had never used that type of language before. So I would say that that is something that is going to be really beneficial, especially for freelancers or for those of you who are managing your Google Ads account by yourself and you just don't have someone else to bounce some ideas off. That's where I found ChatGPT to be a great hand, and that's why I'll be using it in the future. But especially at the moment, one thing that I want to make really, really clear is that I would not just be giving ChatGPT the full range of the Google ad copy. I still firmly believe, and my results still proved, that you as the business owner or the Google Ads manager are going to be much better equipped to write better ad copy for your Google Ads campaigns. So at this stage, you don't need to believe all of the hype on YouTube. With that, ChatGPT and tools like this still have a long way to go before they can take the full role of ad copy content creators like you and me. And my final thought on this is that the one thing that this did prove was that, remember how we saw that both ChatGPT and the headlines that I provided gave a significant increase in the number of conversions that both of those campaigns were achieving. 25% and 45%. They are both fantastic results. So the one thing that this has proven is that there is so much importance in you regularly running ad copy split tests. And what I want to stress with both of these accounts is that both of these accounts were really well established in that they've been running for over 2 years. So these were long established campaigns. And even at that stage, by regularly going through and adding in extra ad copies, you can see some significant increases in your performance. That's why it's so important that you always have a strategy when it comes to optimizing your campaigns. And what I want to do right now is I want to give you access to my Google Ads optimization checklists. And I've got 2 versions of these checklists. Firstly, you've got my e-commerce checklist, and this is an optimization checklist, which is great for Performance Max and shopping campaigns. Because remember, with your Performance Max campaigns, you can go through and manually change those ad copies. And then I've also got my search optimization checklist, and this lets you know the exact optimization tasks that you need to be carrying out on your search campaigns. And if you want to get access to either of these checklists, all you need to do is to follow that link in the description below. Once again, thank you for joining me. My name is Aaron Young from Define Digital Academy, and I'm your 15,000 hour Google Ads master. And if you'd like to learn more about the core factors that you need to include in your ad copy, because it's not just as simple as going through and writing out our keyword focus and call to actions. There are some specific things that you need to have in your ad copy. And if you would like to find more about what those things are and what those important elements are that you need in your ad copy for success with Google Ads, just go through and watch this video right now. Thank you again. See you next time.